Oh, oh, okay. It- It's Thursday. Good morning. I haven't been here since yesterday. I had to take the LSAT yesterday, and it was a lot. So I had to drive up to Glastonbury, which in my mind, Glastonbury is 30, 20, 30 minutes away. Glastonbury is like 50 minutes away. I got there and I was fine. I wasn't flustered or anything. And then, you sit for a 4 hour test because it's grueling, right? It's a grueling 4 hours, 4.5 hours. It works out to be like 4.5 hours because, you gotta go through all the security checks, right? You gotta be wand, like a wand on you. And then I mean, it was just a lot. You gotta check they gotta check your security, they gotta check your ID, they gotta da 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 da. You have to do all the things, it's like it's worse than going through airport security, I must say. So I did that, and then I took the test, and then I got in my car and went home. And then we partied on the porch last night because uh folks wanted to gather, and I was like, sure, let's get it in. I hadn't planned on it. I was just planning on, I was gonna go to the bookstore and I was just gonna chill. So, so anyway, I was just like, whatever, people, whatever. And then folks came over and it was a good time. People, we talked a lot, we laughed a lot, and we listened to Quincy Jones soundtrack. It was great. I couldn't have asked for a better time. And people brought so much wine, it was ridiculous, you know. And Annie Lynn came through for a few minutes. It was nice to see her. It was her first time on the porch. She hung out. Ann Powers hung out. Ian showed up. Ian Alderman came and brought all kinds of gin. He's such a good heart. He's such a good soul. He's such a nice person you want around. You know what I mean? Because he could just I like folks who could be with folks and not feel uncomfortable with folks. I like that. I like people like that. And I think that represents my my friend base. That I've got people who could be anywhere with anybody and be cool and cool with each other. So I could cross mix my friends. You couldn't do that if you was in high school. You couldn't cross mix your friends. Like, if you was in dance, you couldn't mix your dance friends with your hood friends. Like you just couldn't do it. It was just the disparities that was too wide. Um, but anyway, we had a good time last night. It was just the balm needed. It really was. And then uh, uh, Tab came, Jameson came. We had good conversation. Uh, uh, Ryan came and she brought two little kids. They were so cute, so cute. Um, I gave them books because that's how you're gonna save this world. We're gonna be all right. So I just kept hearing Kendrick Lamar all day yesterday. Like I just stood on that. Like it's gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. And then this morning I didn't turn on any TV because I just not. I think I'm gonna dial it back for news for a while. And I'm not gonna talk about the election this morning. I will talk about it later. Maybe next week I'll talk about it. You know, give it some time to let it just sit across the land. Uh, but I'm just in the mindset of Kendrick Lamar. It's gonna be all right. And I went back and looked at I woke up this morning, I had the presence of mind to go look at the pictures I took in Dakar, Senegal on Goree Island, you know, to 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 uh to remind myself of what's important. And when when I was on Goree Island, which is, the island where the slave warehouse was, that was the last place they took slaves before they put them on ships. And so, I posted a picture of me standing in that doorway and trying to think about, not so much trying to feel like I was an African being shipped off, but really standing in the space of what must they have thought and felt and how afraid they were, shackled and chained, and harmed, and all the unimaginable trauma that one would imagine would be in play for a moment such as that. And so I took a picture standing in the door of no return. And it's and they it's a museum now, right? Like interactive museum. But when you look out that door, I can't imagine a big ship out there. But when you look out the door, it is quite beautiful. And what was saving grace uh, for me out the door was that to my left, there were African children playing in the ocean, swimming and surfing and having a good time. And you could hear their laughter. I mean, you could hear them. You could see them and you could hear them. And the water is beautiful, right? It's beautiful. The ocean is beautiful. And there are people who actually live on Goree Island now, right? There are Black people who live on Goree Island. And that grounded me and rooted me uh, in that moment. And I had this real sense that I was an African returning to the door of no return. That somehow or other in my bloodline, there was a connection there, and I was returning. So I was thinking, so that was on my mind this morning as I think about Black people in America and how we've worked so hard uh, to be here and to create space here and to make a way for ourselves here under unconscionable circumstances. So that's been on my mind, and that's going to stay on my mind for a good while. So I'm not going to have a conversation uh for a while about the election. I mean, we talked about some last night, but not in the way some people might imagine you would have these kinds of conversations. But we were really just talking about how we're going to take care of ourselves in the next 4 years. Um, when this real terrorist becomes president. And so, I, 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 there's no doubt in my mind that that we're we that we're going to be all right. It's going to be difficult. And now that we know who is with us, we clearly see who is with us and who is not with us. I mean, but it's not news though. I think we just kind of knew and we were just like, well, but now we clearly know who are not with us. And I'm thinking about that too. I'm thinking about that, you know. I'm thinking about that. And so anyway, I'll 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 wax poetic more maybe next week if I'm up to it, if I feel like it. We'll see what happens. But this morning at 9:30, I've got the folks from City Seed coming on. Y'all know City Seed. They run all the well, they do a lot. Um, but but you might know them specifically from the farmers markets and how they coordinate the farmers market, how they provide oversight for a sanctuary kitchen, and they got a new building. And so Sarah Miller and company are coming on to talk about their upcoming fundraiser that they're doing um, tomorrow. And I'm gonna be in conversation with Tracy, Chef Tracy, um, who is Chrissy Tracy, who is a Forage and Feast author and chef. Young sister, this is Eileen Tracy's daughter, from the just most recent superintendent for New Haven Public Schools. And so she's going to come on and I'm going to be in conversation with her tomorrow. It's going to be lovely. So I'm looking forward to that. See how that goes. So anyway, they're coming on in about, I don't know, 15 minutes or so to talk about City Seed, what the needs are, what they're up to, all the stuff that you ever wanted to know about City Seed, they're gonna come and talk about it. And so I'm looking forward to it because I'm a big fan of farmers markets. I like the whole idea of it. It's not just for rich people. There's a farmers market on I think it just had its last Wednesday. If not if not yesterday, the next Wednesday, I think. But the weather is so nice. I'm not sure. The weather is so nice. So anyway, they're gonna come on and they're gonna talk about all the ways in which City Seed is making a difference in our community. And I'm happy to have them. So yeah. Oh, so they already had the last farmers market in the Dixwell Q House, at the Dixwell Q House Square, the Daniel Stewart Plaza. So so I missed it. But I think the other the other farmer markets are going to go longer. I think they go longer. I think yeah. So Edgewood Park, you have until the 24th. So that's like the day before Thanksgiving. So from 10 to 1. So if you've never been to a farmer's market, make it your business. It's a wonderful way to connect with people. It's a wonderful way to support your local farmers whose lifeblood it is to provide good, sustainable, organic food. So, so anyway, so they're gonna come on in about 10 minutes and talk about this conversation, what they're working on, and how you as the public can help. So, yeah, it's been challenging. Yeah, you know. So it's been challenging. It's been challenging. So, but anyway, we can do hard things. We can do hard things. We can do hard things. And the weather has been Virginia. Who knew? The weather has been Virginia. Uh, and it's nice. I know it's freakish. It's very, very freakish. I know. You got to tell me. I know, but you know what? I'm going to enjoy it. 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 So I don't know what these pictures are of uh that I sent. Did I send these? You really I should not do anything in the dark of night from my bed without glasses on. Do you know what I mean? Like, I really should not be playing around like that because I mess around and send the wrong things to the wrong people. I think I could be wrong. I don't know. don't mind me. I'm just, you know, wild today. I don't even know where. Oh, I know. Darn it. I'm looking in the wrong space. Okay. Yeah, I sent it to the right people. Yeah, I sent it to the right people. Anyway, that's the way of the world, good people. I don't know what these pictures are of. I don't know why they're here. Did I send these? I must have. They must be porch pictures because they have no real reason to be here. You know. Oh yeah. Uh, I a friend of mine's child died, and the funeral's happening in an hour, and I don't think I'm gonna get there. I might try to get. I don't know. We'll see. Um, I might have to. Yeah. Mm, I might try to get there for that because she's a friend of mine, and I know her child. So let me make some quick decisions while I'm having this conversation. Harry, I think what I'm gonna do is let me get in touch with Anru right now, and uh, I'm gonna get in touch with him. Uh, so uh, I'm gonna go to that funeral. Yeah, so I'll just throw on some appropriate clothing and run over and be there for that. That's fine. Yeah, I think I'll do that because I think that'll make me feel better. Yeah. So uh, yeah. Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. So Harry, when I finish with the City Seed folks, I'm gonna jump off air and I'm gonna go to this funeral. I don't want to say who the person is. I'll say it tomorrow because I don't know how public it is. Um, I don't know how public it is, and I don't want to cross any boundaries with that. But if it's okay, I'll talk about it tomorrow. And I know this is quite painful, quite painful. So anyway, but as I said, we could do hard things, and we must stand in these uh 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 in these spaces from time to time and comfort those that are de dear to us. Just we just have to stand in those spaces, and today is just one of those such times. So and they sent word to me to come, and so I'm gonna make it my business now. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that. So anyway, so while we are here, I got up this morning, I didn't turn on any news, and I certainly am not going to turn on any news for a minute. So Harry, we have people in the waiting room. I could see it, but I don't know if I could click on it. So anyway, Harry will let them in. Harry will let people into space, and then we'll get the show on the road. We'll run the show. And yeah, you know, it's okay. Everybody's feeling their feels. And I'm not alone let me just take a break from television and except to watch Hallmark Christmas mystery romance movies. That I will do in spades. Anything
Anything
else?
else?
Nah.
Nah.
So, okay, Harry, what's up? Are you gonna let people? There's 3 people in the waiting room. Oh, here they go. Look, Harry's getting it started. Thanks, Harry. Well, welcome to LoveBabz LoveTalk this morning. I get to talk to the folks from City Seed. All y'all unmute yourselves.
Good morning,
Sarah
Babz.
Sarah Miller is the fearless leader. Nasima is the right hand, and do you say Vedava? How do you say
Batavia.
Vetivia? Listen, I know black folks. I know Vetivia. Welcome. How are y'all?
Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Good.
We're all right.
I'm glad to have y'all on. So City Seed has moved. Y'all are in this wonderful space. It's Fairhaven, right? It's Fairhaven. That's considered Fairhaven.
Yep.
Fairhaven in a beautiful purple brick building.
It's a concrete building.
Concrete building
Yeah.
with a wonderful mural on the other side of it.
Yep.
So what's going on with y'all? What's new? What's happening? Tell me about City Seed.
So City Seed has been around for 20 years. This is actually City Seed's 20th year. It's been a year of a
Wow.
lot of transition in the organization. Yep. And probably like you and lots of people in New Haven, I've been in and out of City Seed for years. We used to have a market in Fairhaven. My kids were raised walking around in snugglies and then toddling through the markets. I've memories of my kids at every single age in the markets. So started the first farmers market in New Haven 20 years ago, which was Worcester Square, and now runs 3 markets throughout the city. 4 markets, actually, 3 markets during the growing season, and then a winter market that will start in January. And City Seed also about 7 or 8 years ago started doing small early stage food business wraparound support for food business entrepreneurs. And that's the work that Batavia does. In addition, Sanctuary Kitchen came under City Seed as a social enterprise that works with immigrant refugee chefs to bring the their culinary expertise from their countries to New Haven and to make it available in a catering business. Also trains them to develop their skills, develop as culinary professionals, and get employment throughout different places in New Haven. So City Seed really has these 3 different programs that are interrelated in lots of ways. So our food businesses will sell at the farmers markets. Sanctuary Kitchen sells at the farmers markets. A lot of the farmers who sell at the farmers markets provide produce for the entrepreneurs. And
This
so
is a good
it's a
ecosystem.
connected of all. Yeah, it's really, we're looking at how do we build a stronger local food system.
How many food businesses y'all run up out of there?
That's a good Batavia question.
So we have a network of over 800 food entrepreneurs.
No.
Yes. So
Seriously?
throughout our 5-6 years of program that's been existent, we've had some touch points with over 800 food entrepreneurs, and the number is steadily growing. It's really cool to be able to support so many food entrepreneurs that are here local in Connecticut that want to scale their food product. So yeah.
Wow. I did not know. I mean, I know some off the top of my head, I didn't know it was 800. Like,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I do know the work of Sanctuary Kitchen because they
Mhm.
started out as how did they start?
It
Yep.
started, oh, go
So
ahead, Nasima, go take.
no, sorry. So it started actually as supper clubs. It was right after the 2016 election. So it's, we're feeling a little bit of some of those similar things at this moment. And there were a group of just kind of New Haven volunteers and activists who got together and decided that they wanted to do more for the immigrant and refugee communities in New Haven because obviously we have a really vibrant community there. And so they started these supper clubs. And so they would go to someone's home and it would be a refugee chef and they would cook the meal, tell their story, and really just share food and culture with people in New Haven. And it grew from there. It was kind of like, okay, well, we could do this like it is a catering business. And from there, it was okay, so let's train them for workforce development and make sure that they have all the skills they need because some of them are really good at what they do. They just needed the official skills, I think.
Mm.
Yeah.
And so they're thriving. I mean, I mean, I see them everywhere. Like they are full
The food is
on.
amazing. I mean,
I listen.
Afghan, Nepali, Syrian, Iraqi. I think some of the best food in New Haven is coming out of Sanctuary Kitchen.
No, I think I
Yeah.
agree with you because
Yeah.
I've gone to so many events where they've been the caterer, and I
Mhm.
was like, whoa, they're doing it. So, all right. So you've got
So there was
food.
the other thing to say is that there was been this dream for years in New Haven to have a building that is like a hub for our local food system.
Because y'all were on this little space on Grand Avenue.
Right. And
That's
that
how
was
I
with
knew
other
you.
organizations. Right. That was
Okay.
New Haven Farms before New Haven Farms and the Land Trust merged to become Gather. We were all in that space together. And there was, I wasn't there, but I was in there a few times. There was a tiny, tiny commercial kitchen, just like one little spot.
I know. I've been in there.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
listen. I know.
Yep. Yep. So out of that came this dream of having a bigger commercial kitchen availability in New Haven. We have huge need. We have just the one commercial kitchen at the Q House now that is available with when the Q House came online. So we run that kitchen. And most of our food entrepreneurs use that kitchen for their businesses right now. Vitavia does a lot of that work. But we have much, much greater need than we have capacity in kitchen space. So that was the dream that really animated this building and the purchase of this building back in the spring, is to have one under one roof, multiple commercial kitchens that could meet the needs of a variety of different food businesses, caterers, bakers, value-added product producers, and also to bring our food system together, have event space, have a big teaching demonstration kitchen, maybe have space for other organizations, have cold storage and dry storage that we're hoping can be shared in some way by different groups and organizations, so that it's really a community resource.
Wow. All
Yeah.
right. So you have that. You have farmers markets. It's like a gazillion of them now, which is really good. Like each community,
Not quite a
pretty much.
gazillion, but we got
Oh,
three.
yeah,
And we want
no, it's not a gazillion, but you have more than when you first started. Like, 'cause
correct.
I remember the first one, like just one farmers market, and then
Yeah,
they sort of branched out. And not every community has one, but they are strategically in places where every community could get to them.
that's the idea. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about the farmers markets and what is the idea to grow them, to add more? How are
Mhm.
they doing? Are they happy? Are they satisfied? Are other people wanting to join them? Like
When I
what's the
came into this
story?
job, everybody started calling me asking when they're getting their own farmers market. So it's our markets are some of the most heavily trafficked farmers markets in the state. We're also among the top redeemers of SNAP and FMMP benefits. So our markets are really heavily used by people across the income spectrum. And all of the people who sell at the market are producers. So like nobody is buying from a farm from out of state and bringing their stuff in to sell. So it's all stuff that comes from our state, from our community, keeping the dollars local.
And this it's not just vegetables. Like there are you could get meat and you could
There's
get
flowers, there's
cheese and
eggs and honey and
yes,
all that stuff. Yep.
honey and all. Yeah,
Yep.
it's amazing.
Yep.
And I've watched it grow because you know I used to live in Beaver Hill, so I would go to the Edgewood market.
Mhm.
I've yet to go to the one in Worcester, which I hear is huge.
Yep.
And
That's
then
our
I think
largest on
and then it moves
Saturdays.
inside, right? It moves
It
inside
moves
in the
inside the
winter,
school. Mhm.
which is pretty cool. Does
Yep.
everybody else want to move inside too?
Well, yes, people now we're thinking a lot of people would like to do a winter market that's inside. It's it's tricky because you really want to put them everywhere, but you also want to concentrate them so that when the vendors come, they really do well. And there's enough traffic for them to really make it worth their while to spend their day there. So right now we have Worcester Square on Saturday, Edgewood Park on Sunday, and we just closed the Q House on Wednesday afternoons from 3 to 6.
And the Q House is the most newest to the
It's
team.
the newest one, right?
Yeah.
And it's a partnership with LEAP and with the Elderly Services Department and the library. So all the organizations that are at the Q House are involved in supporting the market and driving people to the market.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I see people out there, like I see it.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it takes time for it to sort of like grow a little bit, I think, you
Yeah.
know. So it'll, I think, pick up a little bit. But, you know, I'm a fan of Common Ground. They have a market too, and I sometimes see them out and
The
about.
mobile
So
markets?
the mobile markets.
Yeah, so we partner with the mobile markets. So that's Common Ground selling their own produce, and we double the SNAP. So if people want to use benefits to purchase anything from or any sort of produce from the mobile markets, they get their SNAP doubled through the grant that we have to provide for that.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
All right, so Sarah, Nasima, and
Batavia.
Batavia.
Okay.
What's the larger vision? What do y'all hope to? You're in this new building. You've got a lot of room. It's a beautiful space. Like it's a really cool space. The windows are cool. The floors are cool. What is the grand vision, Sarah, Nasima, Batavia?
I can take a stab at it, and then others can jump in. I mean, really, what we want to do is to have this building be a public good, a public resource. Have it be a space where different parts of the food system can come together, and people feel like they can come here for help, but also to get food. So, what we're doing now, this has been cooking for a long time in New Haven. There's a lot of different people who've been involved through the years. There was a study done back in 2012 looking at, you know, what different program elements would make sense in a building like that. We're in the process of updating it now. So we want to get input from all of our different, you know, community groups, from the entrepreneurs, from the farmers, from neighbors, people who shop at the markets, people who might want to shop at the markets but can't necessarily go, and so would want to come maybe order through a different kind of system. And then look at what practically we can do inside the building. So it will probably have a combination of different components. So the commercial kitchens, which is going to be the biggest sort of footprint in the building. We want to make probably multiple kitchens that are designed for specific needs. And then have also space for events, space for cooking demonstrations, and space for community partners to be and to work, and for people to be able to come here and use it for all kinds of different needs. We're also lucky we have the Martinez School right on the other side of the parking lot. We also really want to partner with families, with kids, and be an educational resource as well.
And speaking of events, you got a big event coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, so we're thrilled to have you come into the building for the event. Even though the building is not finished, you know, we can bring people here, and we feel like it's important for people to come and see it and feel it and get the sense of what it is now before we transform it, and also to let people know that we really want people to dream with us, and that this is not just a City Seed project, but we see it really as a community-wide project.
And so what's the event tomorrow? What is it? Tell us about the event tomorrow.
You want to take that one, Nasima?
Sure. So
our
tomorrow night,
mistress of ceremonies.
tomorrow night we're going to have a lovely celebration in our space. It's a little combination of celebration that we have the space, looking towards the future, celebrating 20 years. And we're going to have a lovely conversation between you, Babz, and Chef Chrissy Tracy, who is a New Haven native. She's a vegan chef and forager, and she's kind of big on social media. I think she's with Bon Appetit as well. So she does a lot of really cool things. And she has a cookbook that came out very recently. And so she's going to be chatting with you about that. She's going to sign some books. We're also going to have a bunch of our food entrepreneurs that are going to be here serving some light fare plus sanctuary kitchens. So there's going to be this really beautiful combination of food and culture, and we're going to have entertainment, and it's just going to be a really celebratory night. So we are selling tickets at the door tomorrow. So if anybody wants to come down, please feel free. You'll see me and my lovely face at the door tomorrow night.
And where are y'all located?
We are at 162 James Street.
It's a purple concrete building. You cannot
Miss it.
It holds court on that block. And there's parking, free parking.
Yes, parking is we're so blessed to have the parking because that is such an issue, as we know.
Girl, you don't even know how blessed you are. I mean, if you've gone to any event in New Haven, parking is like, is there parking? But people find, but you know what? We make it work. People show up to stuff. And places have good turnout, so people find ways to park. But it's nice when you have a parking lot right there, like adjacent to the building, where people just like, and the weather's going to be perfect, right? So people are not in boots and scarves and hats, so they could just cross the street. And so as you build out your space, so you're raising some money so you can continue to build out the space, right? Like do all the things that you say you're going to do, and these kitchens. These commercial kitchens are so needed. So that means more people can launch food businesses, catering businesses, specialties, and all the things, because food is like really hot right now. There's all kinds of like this whole foodie blogs and foodie radio stations and foodie influencers. I follow a lot of cocktail makers because cocktails are my thing, and wine people. But there's a lot of interest in how we eat. Does that make you all happy to know that food is being centered the way it is in the public square?
Yes, absolutely. That's the part that makes me most excited, is being able to support our food entrepreneurs at every stage that they are at, and just helping them to craft their food products, from catering, private chefs, bakers, to product, that needs to be packaged. And we are, definitely connecting them to local farmers so they can have those a value added product with local produce that's just grown right here in New Haven, or right here in Connecticut. So it's really exciting to see that the growth of Connecticut and New Haven is very vibrant to food entrepreneurship. The food economy here is like really, really vibrant. So people are creating all types of different food options, and they're fusing different cuisines as well from different countries. So you'll see Latin and Chinese at the same time. Like, this is a really exciting time to just have different food just coming here in New Haven.
Oh, I love that. I love that you said fusion, because people come and then they take on a food and they make it their own and they add their culture to it.
Yes, definitely. So we're seeing a lot of family recipes that are now fusion. So you have a husband that's from a different country and a wife from a different country. So they're fusing their family recipes and making really delicious cuisines that, you just wouldn't hear about if it was just traditionally that one cuisine. So I'm thinking of morsel dumplings. They are an Asian entrepreneur, and they have like these dumplings that have feelings that are different cultures, like Cajun chicken.
I saw oxtail dumplings.
Yes, oxtail dumplings. So, yes. So the fusion is skyrocketing.
I love jerk chicken dumplings. I've seen that. Like, I've seen it. So that's pretty exciting. I think that, you can marry these cultures this way. Brings us all closer together. And we're all eating and enjoying everybody's culture, and everybody gets to talk about, well, this is what I did, this is how I grew up eating this, and now it's doing this. So you have a sense of, what we ate when I was young, right?
Yes,
I love it.
I mean, food is really our love language in so many ways. When you're stressed, you eat. When you're happy, you eat. When you're tired,
Isn't that the truth,
you eat.
Sarah?
So it really is the thing that brings us together in so many ways and kind of gets us through the good times and the bad times. And so, we're going through some stuff now. I feel like we didn't plan this to come right after the election, but I feel like the timing is good because we really need community, and we also just need to eat and like think about food instead of thinking about politics for a minute,
Yes, this is really a lifesaver. And I think everybody will come to the door and they'll be like,
Yeah.
food
Yeah.
and
Hope
good
so.
drink.
Yeah.
So, well, I am looking forward to the conversation with Chef Tracy. I think she is fascinating. I have the book. I've been poring over it. I believe she might be making something for the event if she has time, because she's
Yes, she's making a
quite busy.
mocktail. She's a forager, so it'll depend on what she can forage. So there are a couple different options. A sumac, what was it, Nassim? I
To make
forget.
lemonade, I
Sumac
think,
lemonade
and
is one
then
option. Yeah.
and maybe something with mulberries might be the other option, which is both of them sound amazing. So whatever she
Yes.
comes up with, I'm sure will be delicious.
And I'm fascinated by this foraging concept, like as a way of life and something that you do. I love the fact that it's growing in popularity and people are interested in it. They want to get outside, and people want to know what they're looking at when they're outside. They want to be able to identify,
Yeah.
flora, fauna kinds of things. And
Mhm.
I appreciate that. My
Yeah,
my
we're
roots are
tapping back into
Southern.
our traditional food ways.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to having the conversation with her about how she became a forager and what that means and what happens in the winter. Like what happens to you in the winter? Like what are you looking for in the winter? How do you do it? And how do you manage it? I mean, we all know spring, everything breaks out and grows but when things start to go in the fall and the
Mhm.
winter, so I'm looking forward to the conversation. Well, I'm looking forward to having you all to be in the space with y'all in your space. Y'all were so kind enough to give me a tour. It's a beautiful space. And I'm glad that it'll be an event space too, Sarah. Because then
Mhm.
other people, I'm gonna tell you, other people are gonna get in there and they're gonna start imagining, oh, we could
We
host
already
something
have,
here.
it's already happening. And I would say that, so it's going to take us about a year to get all the plans in place for the building and also to raise the money. So hopefully just a year, not more, but we'll see. But I think in that time, we're happy for the space to be used. We want it to be used by our partners throughout the community. So we're really open to all kinds of collaborations, and we already have a lot of organizations that are using the space for short-term and long-term projects.
Mm,
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. So is CDC the physical build? Are y'all there every day? Like, is this a 9 to 5 kind of life?
Not a 9 to 5, but it's, our folks work at the markets on the weekends. We do a lot of late nights and early mornings and stuff, but people are here pretty much every day.
Mhm.
And I would say it is a pretty fun place to work. It has a kind of startup vibe to it. And the building it's a fun building to work in.
And how long have you been the leader, Sarah?
Since the end of June.
Oh, so you are new.
I'm new in this. I mean, I'm obviously not new to New Haven and not new to as like a partner to City Seed, but I came, another hat I wear is on the New Haven Board of Alders, and I came on a tour of the building once they acquired it, just to like have a look around. And that's how I got sucked in.
Did?
Yeah, I mean, I could just see the potential of this as for what it is as a resource for every part of the food system, but also as a resource for this community. This is arguably like the most stressed section of the most stressed neighborhood in New Haven. And so this is really going to be a support system for not just the people who are doing cooking here and working here, but the people who live around. And we have people knocking at the door all the time, kids waiting for the bus. We put out a book box so that kids can come and get free books. And so we really want that to be the role that we play, is not just as an organization doing our own mission, kind of work, but a broader sort of community engagement mission as well.
And you got the bread makers down the street, right?
We have Atticus. Yeah, Chibasso is like 4 blocks down James Street, the other direction. Yep. And there are partners. A lot of our partners in various ways will be at the event, so you can give them a shout out tomorrow.
That's wonderful. Well, thank y'all for coming on this morning. And
it's great to be on with you.
it's lovely to have y'all. to come on and talk about CDC. Come back again. Keep us updated as you keep raising money and as you make the plans and do the work in the space. Keep
Okay.
us updated. I want to know what's happening.
All right.
Of course.
I'll come
Thank
by there all
you.
the time and pop in.
You are invited.
Thank
And
you
I would
very
say
much.
to anyone else who's listening, if you can't come tomorrow and you want to just come see the space, you are welcome. So just get in touch with our website and we're happy to give you a tour and show you what we're doing.
Well, thank you so much.
Mhm.
And I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Babz.
Take care,
I'm ready for some
Bye-bye.
lemonade, some sumac lemonade. I'm ready. Let's go.
Yes.
All right. Sounds
right.
good.
Sounds
good.
Enjoy the rest of your
See you
day.
there. Okay, bye. Okay, bye.
All right, Harry Droz, I'm gonna dip out. I let Anru know I'm gonna go to a funeral, and I'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk some more tomorrow. But thank you all for listening in. City Seed event is tomorrow, so you can still get tickets if you want to go. They're gonna be selling them at the door too. So feel free to just drop in if you're up to it. And otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow morning, Friday in the Elm. And we'll just go through the week. So I'll see y'all. Thanks, Harry.
Mm-hmm.